What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to go over the 6 items that you need to get started in kayak bass fishing tournaments. If you are planning or thinking about getting into kayak bass fishing tournaments, this is the video for you. We're gonna go over the 6 items that are pretty much standard requirements throughout all organizations. Now, some of them may vary, but in addition to that, we're gonna go over some additional items that, from my experience, makes life easier on the water as a kayak angler. Now, as someone who has just finished their 3rd season in kayak bass fishing tournaments, I will admit, starting my rookie season, it was difficult to read through all the rules to figure out what you need. So in this video, I hope to make it a lot simpler for you. Now, of course, every organization is going to be a little bit different, but these 6 items are pretty much going to be standard across the board. And the first one is going to be, of course, a fishing kayak. When I say fishing kayak, a actual fishing kayak, there's a lot of questions that go around. Can my John boat enter these tournaments? Your bass trawler does not count as a fishing kayak. A canoe is not considered a kayak, so keep that in mind. Every organization is going to be a little bit different, but a proper fishing kayak is required. One of the things that I recommend is to just ask the tournament director what is allowed in your tournaments. Like my organization that I fish, Kayak Fishing Northwest, we have some exceptions, such as the Blue Sky from Jackson. That is an exception. It's definitely not your traditional fishing kayak, but it is an exception for our organization. There's obviously a whole bunch of different kayak manufacturers on the market. My biggest recommendation is to pick the kayak that fits your budget. There's nothing worse than investing all this money into that kayak and you don't have enough budget to go fish all these tournaments that you desire to go fish. I've seen it plenty of times where people in paddle kayaks or lower end kayaks have done well compared to people with their higher end kayaks. The kayak doesn't help you catch the fish. It's your skill set that does that. So don't think right away that you need to get into a high end kayak just to get into the sport. Number 2, now for safety reasons, you're required to have a personal flotation device, a PFD. Now you have obviously your manual auto inflatable PFDs. I usually don't try to recommend that coming from the basketball world. This is all I wore. Now it makes it a little more comfortable in the water, but your traditional kayak fishing PFDs, or at least that's why I call it, are nice because of the pockets. Now, obviously being in a kayak, most of the time, we're gonna be limited on storage. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed this PFD right here. This is an NRS Chinook. I have no affiliation with them, but everything that I'm gonna be talking about in this video, I'll have links in the description for you guys to come check out. But this PFD has a lot of pockets, so think about storing your phone, your keys, and other necessities. Is a nice place to have it on you just in case some accidents do happen. Let's say you fall in the water and separate from your kayak, at least you have those things on you. I really enjoy using this for that reason. Most of your traditional kayak fishing PFDs are gonna have pockets, so consider one of those when you're trying to make your choice. Now, the 3rd item that you need is actually attached to my PFD, and that's my preferred way of having it, and that's a whistle. A whistle is required to be in your vessel. Now, like I said, I prefer to have it on me because a whistle is useless if it's stuck in a little cubby in your kayak and you fall out and you need a whistle. We had an instance this year where a fellow angler, he flipped his kayak and got stuck under a barge, and he had his whistle attached to his PFD and was able to whistle for help. So my recommendation is to make sure you have that whistle on you at all times connected to your PFD, because like I said, anything can happen. That is also another great reason why these PFDs come in handy, because you have plenty of places that you can mount things like this whistle. The 4th item that you need, again for safety reasons, is a high visibility flag and a 360 light. So a lot of times our tournaments, we go on the water super early in the morning and it's low light. So you need that light that can be seen from all directions while you're on the water, and that flag, high visibility. We're super low in the water and there's other people, other boats that are on the water. So it just helps us be seen a little bit more. This is a Yak Attack Busy Carbon pole. And with this flag, it's nice because you can just fold it down and store it anywhere you need to. This is pretty much a standard across the industry that most people run. If I had to pick a flag, this is definitely the one I would invest in. You can easily just turn it on and off, just use AA batteries. And again, you can easily fold it down and store it when you don't need it. Next, the 5th item that you need is a measuring board. So kayak fishing tournaments, we go by length of the fish. So you need a verified board. Now check your local organization to see what is allowed and what's not, but typically these 2 are the standards. You have a Catch carbonate board. This is what I used to use before, but now I'm using the Yak Attack leaderboard, which has been a phenomenal board, but you need these to obviously submit your your fish, and that leads us to the sixth item. Finally, the last item that you need is going to be a smartphone. A smartphone is needed because obviously you got to take photos of your catch, but you need to be able to upload it to the app that tournament organization uses as well. So the Tourney X app, the Fishing Chaos app, those are the two commonly used, but also with your smartphone, it allows the tournament directors to know that you took your photo obviously at the lake the tournament was held at, and it gives you a timestamp so that they can see that you actually caught it during the time period of the tournament. So those are the 6 common items that you need to get into kayak bass fishing tournaments. But like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm gonna walk you guys through some additional things that I think are nice to have while you're on the water. First item that I do want to touch on is a phone tether, and this one is from RoboHawk. Having a phone tether is something I always recommend to everybody because accidents do happen. The last thing you want to do is have one of the items that you need to fall in the water and you can't submit your fish or take more photos on the water. So this is something where, you know, even accidents like just falling out of your pocket right there, always connected to you. This thing has saved me a lot of money over the years, and definitely something I always recommend. The next thing I always recommend is to have backup Sharpies, especially in the kayak. So we have to have identifier codes when we submit our fish and take our photos. That needs to be in it. It has to be the right code for today. Plenty of times people have wrote the wrong code or forget to write the code. So I always have to carry these just in case. It has saved other people's butts because I carry them when they don't. And yeah, this is one thing that you should have in the kayak. Another thing I'll always recommend is to get a crate of some sort. This serves 2 purposes. 1, to hold your tackle, but 2, to hold your rods as well. So a lot of people do a DIY milk crate that you can put your tackle boxes or tackle bags in, and then you can mount rod holders to the side. This one has everything built in. This is a Yak Attack Black Pack Pro, usually one that most people use. But yeah, this thing right here, keep your tackle in it, hold your rods. It makes it nice so that you don't just have your rods or tackle laying all over the kayak. This thing can help you stay organized on the water. One of the last things that I will recommend is to have a net. I like a little bit longer handle net. This one's extendable. The reason for that is that a lot of times those fish will jump 2 to 3 feet away from the kayak, pop the hook out, and it's nice to be able to have that length so you can catch them. The other nice thing about having a net is that you don't have to lean over and try to lip the fish out of the water. It allows you to extend out without shifting your weight, get those fish into the kayak. Accidents do happen, especially if you have a kayak that's maybe not super stable and you're not comfortable. Having a net will help that in that case. But yeah, those are going to be 6 items that you need to get out and participate in kayak bass fishing tournaments. If you found this video helpful, feel free to send this to other people who you think can benefit from this. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.